Hello everybody, welcome back to the Captain's Draft 3.0 presented by Dota Cinema and Moonduck TV. We are here in our second game of the last qualifier matchup between Digital Chaos and Complexity Gaming. One of these teams will move on to the group stages, the other will be out. And we've got game number 2 out of 3, potentially, to see who it's going to be. Of course, my name is Mott here on Moonduck TV. With me today is Pimp Local as well as Purge. Purge, we just witnessed Resolution absolutely seemed to like dominate in that first game. How did you feel about his performance in particular in game number 1?
I think he played very well. His aggressive plays against the Zeus were solid. Even though Zeus did very well getting last hits, I think Resolution farmed very well. He transitioned his items as needed. I think UR played extremely well also. But as a whole, everybody on Digital Chaos I thought played extremely well. They actually looked like a team. And some of the other times they play, they look a bit on different pages. So it seems so far that at the very least the honeymoon period is looking real good for DC. But yeah. I want to ask you your very relevant opinion. Are you excited to see a Viper this game? Could happen.
Yes,
there it is.
Super excited. So All right, yes, we got ourselves a Viper.
I know you're a Viper fiend. I like playing Viper too. I feel
you
a little
finally,
guilty about it. No, dude, I've always said that I like playing Viper. I've never been a Viper hater. Like I don't know, he takes a little bit of finesse, not much, but there's a little there. You gotta right click, and then you gotta right click the ground, and you gotta right click again, and then you gotta right click. It's really hard, dude. It's
very difficult.
I don't know if you guys can handle this, but it's pretty top tier.
Listen, to be a pro Viper picker such as myself, it's a little bit difficult. But I want to say thank you because first of all, you're like one of the only people that's like, yes, Viper, or at least even if you're being like joking about it. Because every time I talk to somebody like Merlity, he's just like, that hero's disgusting. What's wrong with you? You're an idiot.
Complexity's turn to pick.
That's right. Yeah, get that coaching Purge. You too can learn how to click on the ground. Seriously though, I'm excited to see Viper. I think this hero is pretty strong for a couple of reasons. Obviously in lane, he's very, very good. He dominates almost every lane matchup. He can transition into a multitude of items. He's pretty good with mech on hand, and he's very good at taking down towers and taking team fights in the early stages of the game. And I've seen a couple of late game Vipers recently. This seems to be the problem with Vipers, that if he hit that 30-minute mark, it's like, okay, I guess we lost because our Viper's not doing as much anymore. But now that's not necessarily the case. He can transition late game. We've seen G do it. We've seen a couple of other players do it. And so I think Digital Chaos, they're going to go ahead and they're going to get started with a good pick. And then they get the Night Stalker as well, which they love to play in a different multitude of roles. It's either going to be support, could be offlane for Bull, but there's a lot of options, and I'm a big fan of Night Stalker as well.
Yeah, Night Stalker is very good against Ancient Apparition as well. Obviously, Complexity was okay with that because they picked it afterwards, but the Night Stalker does very well. He can punish those heroes quite nicely. And Silence against somebody like Slardar is also very good. Now, DC picks up a Spectre and a Dazzle. I love the Dazzle pick this game because it's going to synergize very well with either Spectre or Viper or both. They're both going to be very physically resistant now, and it's going to help offset the minus armor that Slardar's putting out, which is great counters against all the cores that DC currently have.
Yes.
So I think the Dazzle pick's really solid here. But I think the reason that DC first picked the Viper is because it's Captain's Draft, and you don't always have the right solutions to dealing with Viper. Now, I think Slardar's a great one. Minus armor is a really good solution to beating Viper. But at least in the 1v1 mid lane, it's going to be a lot harder for Complexity to draft a hero that they're happy with now, because it's got to deal with laning against Viper, and it's also got to synergize with their lineup. And sometimes you're limited in this draft.
I think Windranger could be okay mid lane against Viper. I think in some matchups it is fine, and that seems to be one of the only heroes I think that's good. I guess you could go for a Pugna as well, but you're going to get Corrosive Skin generally, so I'm not sure if that's the best hero to go with. But you're absolutely right. Minus armor in general against all of these heroes, and in particular against Viper, is a very good way to deal with these heroes. So Slardar should have a pretty big game here for Swindle. I mentioned who's going to be playing him, and we'll see what they draft next. They've got the last two coming out, and draft has already gone pretty quickly. I'm a fan of both drafts currently. I also like that they picked the Ancient Apparition into the Viper and into the Dazzle, the Mech Carrier, and the Shadow Wave Healer, respectively. Ancient Apparition, very good against those two heroes.
I was going to call that Ogre pick. I was looking, I was like, all right, they need a support. It's got to be Ogre, right? Like, damn it, I should have said something.
You should have. Oh, well.
And I was looking at Warlock as well. It's going to be a core Warlock for sure. A Warlock is pretty good against Spectre, Night Stalker, Viper, hypothetically, because Fate's Edict on very tanky heroes is a great way to accelerate pure damage through all of your opponents. But I don't know if he's going to do well in the middle lane. He can't use his heal aggressively on Viper because Corrosive Skin is going to reflect almost as much damage back to Warlock as he takes. But it has to be Warlock mid. There's no way that they can't do that. It'll be survivable against Viper. It can trade hits. I think it's a good solution. It's probably not going to beat Viper, but I think it's going to do okay.
Then they'll go for the Phoenix as well, which is actually not a bad pickup with the Supernova as it hits level 2. Gyrocopter can right-click it down Slaughter as well, but if you get off the Fire Spirits, that's pretty much the only 2 heroes. Maybe Warlock to a certain extent as well. Actually, they actually have a lot of good heroes to right-click the egg down, but I don't know. I'm kind of okay with this hero. Yep, exactly. Bloodlust as well, yeah. That's true.
I like Ogre Magi a lot. He's a great roaming hero. Very, very tanky, really good regen. I think DC is a bit lacking disables right now. That's one thing they're really losing out on. They basically have Night Stalker, nuke, some slows from Viper, and that's about it. Spectral Dagger, Phoenix Dive, I'm not going to really count those. I think those are pretty weak disables. That may be one thing that DC is really lacking here. They need to try to keep their Spectre defended, and they need to try to get some advantage in the laning stage, because when it comes to teamfights, complexity is going to wreck. So, that said, there is going to be a Slaughter offlane, so keeping Slaughter's blink delayed is one really good thing that DC can do, but it's going to be hard to do that, I think. They're going to have to pressure that guy.
Do you think they're going to do a dual lane for complexity? Just like send the Ogre or Ancient Apparition with Swindle? What do you think?
You know, I would say Ogre, but then you have 2 melee.
Yeah.
And I'm not so sure that's really what you want to do either. I just think the damage is slightly weak there between Ogre plus Starter in the laning stage. It's okay, but it's not amazing, and against a Dazzle it's just not very safe, because that means whatever you use Shadow Wave is going to hit 2 heroes instead of just 1.
Yeah, that's true.
So I feel like their best bet is to just do a tri-line. Maybe you can put A up there for like a level, do like a Chilling Touch, try to zone the supports, and then wait till Stars 2, and then you leave. But with the same vein, Complexity could get a lot of advantage by zoning Bulba. Phoenix is a hero that can't jungle very well. Like, Phoenix is actually very weak in the offlane for the fact that it's hard for him to get levels. He's got very low armor. Every time he casts a spell, he loses a percentage of his total HP. So Phoenix is not a very good offlaner right now. He can be zoned quite easily, and he's kind of a desperation pick here for DC because they didn't necessarily have another hero they like better. But it does give them some team fight, and that's something they drastically need against a Warlock and a Gyrocopter and an A.
Yeah. And they will pair him up with, it looks like, 1437 down in this bottom lane. So you're absolutely right. This is not going to be an easy offlane for Phoenix, especially with the 3 heroes he's going up against. Almost certainly it is going to be this tri-lane, as you talked about. So I don't know, man. This is going to be a tough lane for both of the offlaners, I feel like. But maybe even more so for Bulba, because there's only 2 heroes top lane for DC instead of just 1. Wait and see.
I mean, there's 0 chance that you can zone an Ogre if you're a Phoenix. He has 8 armor over you, and he's regenerating an extra, like, 2 HP per second than you are. He's going to absolutely need Night Stalker in his lane to properly zone that guy.
This is not going to be easy. This is not going to be an easy game for DC early on.
Basically impossible. It's really hard to zone Ogre. It's one of his biggest advantages. But on the bright side, Ogre does start becoming weaker around the mid game, where his team fight is okay but not amazing. He's going to really scale poorly against Viper. Viper can easily deal with an Ogre Magi. And I don't think he's going to be very effective against the Spectre either in some way. So Ogre's going to have to be a little careful.
I feel like DC can get past the mid game with the help of resolution, and into maybe the later stages of the game with a Spectre. You're obviously going to have the advantage, I think. And that's what it comes down to, is DC getting farm on their 2 big cores in resolution, and you will pick up the bounty rune top lane, but they tried going for bottom bounty rune, but Complexity were ready and waiting for that type of fight to break out, and they were going to be in an okay spot. You do not want to fight into Chilling Touch, and they decided not to.
Yeah, DC made a great choice to back from that. They also had a show of force there, which put DC a little confused, and that allowed them to get the rune top. Swindle does grab it, so
Swindle will take the creep wave, by the way, as well, and AUI is going to try to stop this from happening, but I don't think that's going to be the case.
You should do this if you know that your opponents aren't going to be there, because they're not going to get a lot of right clicks in as you pull the wave pass, and this means that the Spectre is going to be more limited on farm, and he's also going to take a lot of damage. But he very wisely is just running around rather than trying to last under tower, which is very difficult, even for top tier players. Spectre's got low damage. He's just going to pull it around and meet it with his creep wave. That way, the next wave doesn't push as hard.
Yeah, this is a nice play coming out. AUI 2000 was able to block down. He put a sentry here, which is interesting. I think he wanted just to see if there's a ward. Does this block this camp?
I don't believe so. It's a little bit too far, right? And that's
he blocked it with his body earlier on in the game. Okay. So that was really kind of weird for me, but I'm not sure.
We're currently regenerating 5 HP per second with just enchanted mango. It's pretty good. Here, hit me. That's fine. The wave is pushing though. If they get the side pull off, it's gonna be pretty good for Complexity, and they are gonna get some of the creeps.
1 creep going the way of Bulba, it looks like. Unfortunate, not the best start for them down in this bottom lane, but the tri-lane's not really accomplishing much either other than pulling. Oh, they missed the pull.
They
and it's a double range creep
That's
now,
so
too.
big. Yeah, the whole wave is going to push down. This is going to guarantee levels for Boba and 1437.
Yeah, this is huge. They need this experience. Sure, they might get shut down, but if they can get 1 or 2 creep waves going the way at the start of the matchup, then things will get a little bit easier, and we'll see if that'll continue to be the case. And Boba will probably try to get a couple of these last hits, but it's not going to be the easiest thing in the world.
His base damage is okay. Just he's not very good at taking damage. His armor is just so low, and he's already got a ring of protection to try to make up for that. So almost hits level 2. The creep wave did get side pulled now, it's the stack, so this creep wave is going to get completely denied, and that's going to suck for Boba.
Limp is absolutely out last sitting resolution currently. It's 10 last 67. I guess it's a little early on, but you saw the Shadow Word come out. When that is up, Limp can just go toe-to-toe with Viper pretty effectively. He just right-clicks him, and he's like, I'll heal through all the damage that you're pumping out right now. Until later on when you have a lot more damage to the Keela, available to poison attack or something, but still.
It's actually one of the most overpowered damage abilities in the game right now. With 2 skill points, this thing does 300 damage. 300 damage on a 16-second cooldown. It's amazing. And if you heal yourself, you're healing for 300. So if you're talking about trading, rather than doing 225 offensively, you can just heal yourself for 300. It's completely worth it. It means that for once, Viper actually can't get out-traded.
This is actually, like, it's a really good matchup, it looks like anyways. Yeah. Limp has the bottom out, so he can continue to either just regen up using that, get some mana, and then just continue to Shadow Word.
Yeah, normally you won't get a bottle on Warlock, but when you're getting this much HP trade, and you're also getting mana out of it, every time you use the bottle charge, he's basically getting, like, I don't know, 400 HP or something. It's actually pretty insane.
Now the Shadow Word goes on a resolution, and yes, he's at that point in corrosive skill, but he's actually taking a lot of damage. I think he's carrying out a salve to himself. No, he's got a Fairy Fire, and tangos. But if you look at it, Limp now has, he's got the Bounty Rune, he's up to 17 last hits, 10 for the Viper. Wow.
Denied.
They're laning this really well, and he's gonna continue healing aggressively now. He's got a salve, he's got a full bottle charge. He can absolutely just out-harass Resolution at this stage. That ability's getting OP, man.
This is one of those lanes that actually, oh my god, Resolution's gonna die. Hanskin's gonna come with the Fire Blast. The Ignite's gonna come through as well. Resolution might get this kill on a Hanskin. Can he stay alive? The Fire! Will he get this kill? He barely will survive, but only for a moment longer. He does go down. Lip will get the first blood, and then it'll be Hanskin falling. And that was almost an amazing play from Resolution, but yeah, he was so low in HP that he was just gonna go down immediately. Swindle's gonna get caught out. Looking for a Slithering Crush. He doesn't find it just yet. Getting poison touched and using the Spectral Dagger. They can't find this kill, but they'll zone him out effectively enough. And they'll back away.
It's a really good gank there by the Ogre Magi. That's the kind of ganks you need to do. Dive tower. Go places where people aren't expecting you from angles they're not expecting. On the bright side for DC though, Boba's there to get the experience. He's level 3 now, and that's going to help him out a lot in his lane. Can definitely deal some damage to the supports that he's trading with, and definitely trade advantageously then.
Oh, 1437 comes with the haste rune. There's the Icarus dive. The slow's coming out. He's very tanky. Can they bring him down? Another Fire Spirit will fly through. It's a good Fire Blast. Can they get the skill? Last poison attack will do the job. The Chilling Touch coming through. Resolution in trouble. Slowed up as well. He'll be able to back away. He's got the salve on top of that. They won't lose a single hero. It'll be close. Bulba's about to fall. They'll get Shadow Waved up. They rotate AUI 2000 out of that top lane. Resolution will take the salve from AUI. And they finally get a much needed kill on the Limp on that Warlock.
Dude, Fatal Bonds is so terrifying.
Yeah.
So, like, stop taking damage. I want to salve right now, but I'm scared.
That was frightening. They all survived. They were able to regen up for the most part. Hanskin's going to notice Bulba down here in the bottom lane. Bulba's actually lower in experience than Hanskin is, which is interesting. All right. Pretty good start for both teams. I think Complexity is a bit of an edge here because Gyrocopter continues to freely farm down bottom. Yawar's doing okay. He's got his phase boots now, but well, there's going to be the Void coming through. That'll be from 1437 to try to zone him out. They'll back away. I still think there's a bit of advantage. Yeah, there's like a 250 gold advantage for Complexity, but still very close to even in this game so far.
Yeah, it's definitely looking a little bit better for Complexity, I agree. Not even looking at the graph. I think Viper is just having a little bit of a harder time, moderately harder time against Warlock. Warlock is 6 now, so he's got Chaotic Offering. He's also going to start farming towards his Midas now. He's got his Gloves of Haste. Very common item on Warlock, because Warlock has such a high strength gain that he can get away with not buying survivability items in the mid game. Not to mention he has the heal on top of that. So he's pretty much a very strong hero, as is right now. And he can go for items that are going to go for a Midas that's going to allow him to get some really big impact items for later in the game when his ultimate stops being more of such a one-trick pony.
I'm concerned DC. It just feels like they're not really accomplishing that much right now. You know, 6 minutes in. The Phoenix had to go back home. He got absolutely destroyed by the Rocket Barrage.
There's actually very few last hits going on in this game compared to most games. There's the carries, obviously, and Warlock's very high, but Viper's trailing behind. But he's still scared about the ganks, man. And every time he comes up and gets shadow warded, it just makes his trading not efficient. Like, it basically sets him back like 200 HP, and he can't make up for that lack of regen.
This is one of those weird Viper games where you're just not really accomplishing that much. You're not getting really good last hits in lane. This is just, it's actually pretty amazing to see Limp do this well, but I think it's just based on the hero. And this is one of those matchups where Viper doesn't win. Like, Warlock's actually winning this matchup, but he's going to be going for the Midas inevitably. He already has the Gloves of Haste. He's up to 729 gold. Resolution has the beginnings of a mech, but he's about to get ganked. You can see there's a big smoke you can see King with Swiddle wrapping around. Resolution will stay near the tower. He actually might avoid this gank if he stays there. I mean, he's going to be nearby, but
Warlock does have an advantage in terms of the trading aspect, but it still comes down to last hitting, and Warlock did a great job of that the first couple waves where he had an advantage. If it wasn't for that, Viper might have been able to have the money to stand up to that trade. So it's still very much Limp getting great last hits despite Viper having Nether Toxin.
Gonna look for a gank down bottom. There's gonna be the Hawk coming through. There's gonna be the Void. Great level 6 usage. They're gonna grab this kill. The call down. 437 might die. Pops, I think, the stick charge. And they will get the kill, but it costs a lot of HP, and it does cost the Haunt, which means Yuar has to go down to the bottom lane. He could get these last hits, however, but he will not be back up top. But good thing, because guess what? There's a roaming gank squad coming up from Complexity. So if he TP's back up there, he might actually die.
The little ganks like that are absolutely crucial. If you're losing a game, take a hero off a lane that's getting crushed, shift down to another lane, get a kill on a core, and it's going to help out a massive amount.
Yeah.
So that's a huge kill for DC there. Viper shifts off his lane, he dodges a gank, and he gets advantage against his opponents. Absolutely worth it.
It comes down to really great timing. Second nighttime, I believe, or first, I don't even remember, but they get in, they get the kill, they pop up the Haunt, they use the Void, they have the nighttime, they have darkness going the way of the Night Stalker. The Viper might get ganked. There's a double damage rune for resolution here. They're all pincering on top of him, and he's going to die. Let's see if he can take out somebody on top of that with just his right-click damage. Z-Freak.
So dead.
Oh, he dodges the Slurry Crush.
Z-Freak. He just has to right-click.
Just turn around. Oh, Resolution, you just turn around, you get that kill, and he's gonna get it! He's gonna get the kill on the Z-Freak, and Resolution will fall. AG White comes in and looks for that shadow. That shallow grave, but unfortunately can't get it off. UR is gonna back up as well. Swindle looking for another Slithering Crush, can't find it, will back away. So that is, it's not a terrible trade. Obviously, you don't want to lose Resolution, and even if you get that kill, it's not that great, but still, it's something when you should have just died and got nothing.
Yeah, I think he kept running north because he tried to get to the Dazzle. If the Dazzle would have graved him there, he might have gotten a second kill. It could have happened. So made a lot of sense at that point for him to try to get out of range, but too many slows and Viper gets stunned. Either way, not bad for him. He's got a Buckler and a Headdress in a lane where he was getting kind of wrecked just based on the matchup and the heal that Warlock could provide. A lot of players would have absolutely gotten crushed in circumstance.
Yeah, Resolution's done a pretty good job, but Limp, we already talked about his ability so far this game, and he's just about to have his Midas, which means that level 2 ultimate, the Ags, and maybe even Refresher are going to come out pretty quickly this game, and that's really the biggest issue. How are they going to deal with this golem, especially because Diffusal Blade doesn't work on them anymore?
Yeah, I think Viper's pretty good against the golems because you do apply poison and slow, and it's also going to do a lot of physical damage when they get low. So I feel like as long as there's a little bit of space and complexity isn't completely running down, then they can deal with the golems. But the thing dealing with the golems while you're also facing call down, rocket brush, all that other stuff, that's what they messy.
You're going to have a pretty good Supernova to cover your team while that's happening, I think.
Exactly. That's actually what they need. They need Supernova to be there in the back lines, unfocusable. That way complexity can run at them and they can deal with the golem and then hopefully re-engage after.
The biggest thing is Bulba was just, he just hit level 6, so he's not really doing that great in terms of experience. But I guess he's kind of right with Swindle on that Slardar. I mean, he's got a little bit more than level 6 at this point, but we'll wait and see how things continue to progress this game. I mean, we're looking for, I think, that one big team fight, whether it's the Radiant or the Dire side. It looks like it'll more than likely be Complexity getting that done with their Warlock Golem, but we'll wait and see when that's actually going to happen.
I mean, the levels on the supports are just not very high for the Radiant team on Complexity. I guess they're actually a lot better on DC. This Night Stalker has hit 6. Dazzle's at 5 now, so he's a whole level ahead of the other supports. If they don't get a lot of roaming done on the A and the Ogre, this is going to really hurt them a lot. They need the Ice Blast to be effective in the early game, or at least in the mid game, and they don't have that yet. Oh, the smoke will get revealed here.
Yeah, but they knew it was coming. There's a ward behind the tower, which pinged out that smoke, I think, with Resolution in 1437. They're all going to rotate down bottom. DC have to leave now. Darkness is going to go. He might get Slithering Crush. He's very fast.
The tranquils, man.
The call down will go through, and 1437 is going to live. Resolution will TP away as well, and they all rotate down bottom in Complexity. They'll try to get this tier 1 tower, and they'll probably be successful in that, but they will not get a kill.
Man, I love this Tranquil's choice here on 1437. He's against the Slardar, it's hard to deal with that, and with the Tranquils, he gets that extra 30 or so movement speed that he wouldn't have if he had different boots choice. So keeps him alive versus the Slardar, a hero that normally can catch up and guarantee the kill on Night Stalker.
And this is huge too because they had the chaotic offering, they had the golem at the ready, and yes, they will take the tower, but that just gives them so much more room as you are is now off the top net worth. He's about to get this, it looks like this tower here. Well, at least try to put some pressure on. Resolution now, I believe, just about has his mech. They'll rotate up top lane. They have to think about defending their own tier 1 tower up here.
50 gold here for Viper to have that mech. It's gonna do so much when they have this. It's gonna stop pretty much everything except for Ice Blast. And that's what they need for those mid-game team fights.
They're going to wait for the next creep wave. Bulba's going to be going for that Midas. No surprises there. And he doesn't have the recipe. He's not even close, really. But if he gets that level 2 ultimate, which he desperately needs, will come out a little bit quicker. That's the biggest thing. Ogre's going to get caught. Spectral Dagger will fly. The Viper Strike to void up as well. No TV's coming through. And Hoskin, well, yeah, I think he's dead too, Perch. I think he's absolutely obliterated.
What happened? Poor guy.
He will go down.
It's a great kill. They get a kill out of their tier 1 tower push, and they're going to grab the tower as well. Looks like White. Prospector gets it. Really good for UR there. That's drums this early on. It's going to counteract a little bit of that minus armor coming from his opponents, but the mobility is going to be huge. Against a team that lacks disables a little bit, and I'm talking about complexity here. Oh, they're going to get swindles as well.
Swindle! He'll TP away. He might actually make it in time. No, goes down to the last right click and poison touch of AUI 2000 on the Dazzle, which is another big kill going the way of DC. So they fake back, stay together, and watch the hero come top lane thinking he's safe to farm, but it was actually not the case for Swindle.
Resolution's been playing this game so well. Like, I honestly saw how that laning stage was going. It was extremely difficult, and he's still positive in his KDA now. Like, it's amazing. He stopped all the ganks, hasn't gotten engaged on. They're going to fight mid. Oh, 1437 walking too far in.
Yeah, this should be a death for 1437. They're going to jump in. Don't use that supernova. He will. He'll try. The harm will come through. Now Hans going to deep break. They're going to try to right-click it down. Will they be able to get in time? Yes.
Oh,
no. He actually gets out just in time. Now Lips on the run. He's got chaotic offering. He might have to use it. There it is. Will he fall, though? Now he's going to use the upheaval and try to stay alive. The golem used for nothing. Bulba gets the double kill, and the golem is about to die. That's a huge team fight going the way of Digital Chaos. What a pickup coming out for the Dire side.
Dude, that supernova was so good. Like, DC absolutely covered him, and they killed the AA right before the attack came out. And then it was just
one right click from dying. He was one right click away from dying.
It was so close. That's the perfect way to play Phoenix. You put the supernova in a place that they're like, yeah, we can kill that. And then your team backs you up, gets the kill, and then your supernova comes off, and then you instantly win the fight.
They have next still. They're going to try to continue to push into this. The right click onto Hanska, they've slowed him up. There's going to be the Spectral. They'll find Swindle. The Silence will come through the void up as well. They can try to pop the jump charge. There's going to be the Icarus dive, and he's slowed up as well. They'll pop the call down. UR will avoid it. Call down now down. They're going to TP back into the Warlock. He doesn't have his ultimate. I understand why DC want to force this, but they might have to back here. There's just too many heroes in the vicinity, and they will not get the tier 1 tower, but they are able to put a lot of pressure on not only the enemy team, but that tower as well.
And they're actually just kind of playing with their opponents right now. They're going in, they're forcing spells, they're lowering their HP, forcing TPs, and then they're taking the fight when it's good for them. They're doing a great job, like, working around the complexities team fight lineup.
Top tower is under attack.
Once's down now, though, and for another 34 seconds. Surprisingly, that's going to be up pretty damn soon. They still have mech. They picked up the kill for Resolution. AUI is a little bit low on mana, but they look like they might just want to force down this tier 1 tower, group up again, and go for this push. We'll see if that's going to be the case. And Bulba has his Midas flying out right now, and so his level 2 ultimate, it's coming soon. It's not quite there yet, but it'll be soon.
Ancient Apparition is still level 5, by the way. This absolutely can happen at 15 minutes into a game. Like, you can't play Ancient Apparition this ganky and not get those kills off. And he did do some early ganks with the Ogre, but I really think that he should have focused more on pulling and getting free levels, because 15 minutes in is way too late to not have your level 6 on Ancient Apparition. This is what makes the hero good. Obviously, Cold Feet's still very good. Here comes the smoking.
This could be huge. 1437 is going to lead the way. They've got Supernova back up and ready, and Hanskin's going to walk right into them. They'll actually break the smoke at the seat gank. I think they don't know that. 1437 is a little bit late to react. They're going to continue to push this in. Everybody is here with the exception of Swindlemelon, who's, I think, just trying to get up to that Blink Dagger. He picked up his treads instead. They're going to dive a little bit further. There's the Haunt. They're going to find Chessie. They're going to actually reality in on Hanskin, and when Zeebrik's going to die first. They still have that Supernova. There's the Viper Strike. Hanskin is going to get brought down. Fall down might hit on a lot of these heroes, in fact, on all of them. But here's the Supernova. Great two-man stun. This Shadow Wave. Resolution still alive. Pops up the mech here, and Swindle will get slowed down and try to get brought down here by Digital Chaos. In fact, they will grab this kill. Now, Rock Surprise. Chessie's about to fall as well. 4 dead, and Digital Chaos again. Barely surviving, but with the mech, the Shadow Wave, and every single spell, they will come out ahead and take a huge team fight in Tier 1 tower.
That could have gone so bad, man. It looked really scary. Iwara went for the double kill, and then he got stunned by the cold feet, which followed it up with the call down and the fatal bonds. But they were able to survive it, like you said, with the mech and with the dazzle heals. They stay alive. The supernova covers complexity from running in all the way, and they win another huge fight. This can lead them into a Roche, which means that the next fight is even easier to take. Iwara can play insanely aggressive, or they can put it on Viper as well and let Viper do something insanely aggressive.
We'll wait and see. They do have chaotic offering for Limp. We'll see if they can maybe contest this. They want to get up there, but by the time they get to Roshan, it's going to be dead. 1437 is going to be the bodyguard here. The Ice Blast is about to sail through. This might not be the best fight. The call down flying in as well. Limp's going to get silenced up. They're going to head on out. Resolution might be the one that's going to be the martyr here, but he's got Aegis. Limp about to be dead from the Sunray. There's going to be the heal up. He'll try to stay alive. They can't quite bring him down yet, but Iwara comes and gets that last right click. Resolution now back alive. The gold is going to do work, and 1437 will be the first to fall on DC's side. Maybe not the best fight for Digital Cast. They're going to back away, but Chesty going to work. He might fall. Last right click. He gets the double kill for Iwara. Resolution make out that he's going to be the tank, the front line, to get off the grave. And Swindle about to go down as well. Sunray will fly through. That is 3 dead, and they just lost 1437, and they might get more for DC. Resolution stays alive. The Urge Charge, beautifully done, and they'll get the golem as well. Another amazing fight coming up from Digital Cast, but this time it works well because they got the Aegis for Resolution.
Yeah, they played that so well. The crucial moment in that fight was the fact that as soon as Roche died, Iwara let the Viper have it. They were deep in the pit. All of complexity was there. Iwara could go to the high ground using his dagger, so he ran right, let Viper grab the Aegis, because they were both a little low. Viper takes the death, and then comes back and uses his second death more efficiently than his first. So
look at Iwara's
they
gold.
played that so well.
Iwara's gold. He's got a relic.
He's a little ahead. He's got, what, a 3,500 gold advantage over Gyrocopter right now. Like, they're playing so well this game. Like, Viper is absolutely eating up the pressure of his opponents, and it's giving Iwara space to just outplay everybody on carry.
Well, I thought he bought a recipe first. I'm like, what? And he sent over the courier, and then he's like, okay, it was a misbuy, so he'll buy his relic up, and... Oh, God. If this fight was, or if this game wasn't hard for complexity, it's going to be hard pretty soon with that ratings coming out. 7,500 network advantage coming the way of Digital Chaos. And Resolution's not done. They've got Haunt up. They want to try to go for Swindle, and they probably should be able to find him. They're going to TP in another hero. That is going to be, I think, Dazzle. They're really waiting. But look at this. Everyone is here from complexity. They're baiting this out perfectly. They seem to know that Resolution has a Invis rune.
I think maybe ulti the starter, then auto attack the supports. Here it comes.
Yep. Now the Haunt's going to come through. Good Slithering Crush. They're going to go right into Hauntskin and Z-Freak. The Ice Blast will sail, and Z-Freak will fall first. Swindles, though, he'll back away in Hauntskin. They've got no chaotic offering. There's going to be the upheaval. They'll back away. EC are just fine with getting that first kill, and they're just saying that's enough of that. They're going to try to go back in here. There's going to be the run up and Swindle. He'll be able to go and try to get out with the sprint. They get off the Poison Touch with the Spectral Dagger. The Call-Down will fly through. Swindle's going to try to go onto AUI. He might fall here. He'll actually go down almost instantly. Now they're going to jump in with the Echo Dive. Supernova will fly through. And Chesty is just getting destroyed by that ultimate. And he'll go down. He's dead for 45. Limp's going to have to back away. He's got Chaotic offering 10. They're going to Icarus dive in as well. And Limp's about to go down. Another kill going the way of Iwara. Big fight again coming up for Digital Chaos. I've said that multiple times. Here comes an Ice Blast. This might kill Iwara and Bulba. They're going to get extraordinarily low. Bulba's going to be going down, it looks like.
Yeah, they're taking extras. Bulba will die probably... Oh, it's going to be close. Okay, it does.
Iwara will be able to survive, but Bulba will go down. So they do at least get one kill going in the way for complexity. That is the trade-off, but...
He's got Radiance, man.
Iwara is
time. Like, how do you beat a Spectre that goes 7-0 and 9 by 2 minutes? Like AA has Brown Boots. Radiant, he can just Haunt and AA will die. Like, if AA is by himself, he just dies. He has to TP instantly. This is a stage where Spectre is hard to beat because the supports are just dying instantly.
God shakes. Jesse's like, I have a Yasha and a Helm of the Dominator. I think I'm doing pretty well. Then he looks at Iwara and he's like, oh, God, what? Swindle just got his blink as well. That's how bad of a game he's had. It wasn't even that bad. It's just the team fight that they've had has not been that great.
Yeah, DC just has mobility advantage. Their team fights have been better. They've been playing around the Warlock Golem. Like, the Golem has felt a little bit weak. This should be 1437 dying.
He's going to get caught. This should be a kill, and Complexity will finally get back on the board here. A pretty big kill going their way. Anybody that kills is going to be a nice little pickup. Ice Blast is going to sail through as well, but it's a little bit too late to the party. But still, a nice grab coming out from DC. Or, excuse me, Complexity.
So for now, Z-Freak's going to try to catch up in his levels. I imagine he's going to go a mix of Ice Vortex levels with Cold Feet. I think they do need that anti-mobility for their opponents because DC seems to be running away. Oh, there's the ulti. That's going to be a dead Z-Freak.
Yep.
Like 2 right clicks and a little bit of a Sun Ray and he just dies.
He just goes back bottom. He's gonna kill Swindle, looks like, almost. Can he catch up to him in time? He's got his drum charge. No, he doesn't. He's just dead as a Radiance Burn. And he's now godlike with a double kill. He just got the Radiance. He's already back up to 1,300 gold purge. God.
If he buys like a heart right away, the game just kind of ends, basically. And maybe he'll want to go something slightly more armor heavy while giving him HP, but if you're this far ahead on Spectre, you just buy as much HP as possible, because then your opponents can't kill you. You saw it in the last fight. They won on Viper. Viper got A-ulted, and he was like, I still have 70% HP. I think I'm going to be okay.
Golem's going to go. Resolution. Call down it as well. He gets off the mech. The Ice Blast stun on it too. Bubble will fall. This is looking like a good fight for Complexity. Resolution. Buyback will come in from Swindle. Can he get Chesty? He's low, but he'll stay alive. Actually going to take down to the Veil, and the Corrosive Skin damage. Chesty will fall. They'll lose 3, however, for Digital Cast's AUI 2000 will hit the deck as well. But even when you win a fight, you still somewhat lose it because Chesty just dies. They have to buy back on Swindle to get that kill.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Yeah,
attack.
that's a scary position to be in. Now, Warlock did get a lot of gold in that fight. His net worth is actually the same as Viper's now, but fights are still going really solid for DC. They're getting trades all over the place. That wasn't Spectre dying, you know? That was their mid Viper. He's supposed to tank ganks and be tanky. And it cost them Warlock ulti. That's a very long cooldown. They still have 2 minutes until they can use that again.
Yeah. Meanwhile, down at the bottom tier 2 tower, they're going to have to try to defend this after that that tier 1's going to go down. So you will Spectral Dagger and just run away. That is Ag's done for Limp, mind you. So the next fight, it will be pretty damn solid. And Complexity are not out of this game yet, but they're very far behind.
Yeah. They can win this, though. I mean, it all comes down to how well they can execute their team fights. Fatal Bonds is an ability that when you cast it on 6 people, 20% of the damage they take gets shared. So if you have all these tanky heroes, the amount that you put out is just huge.
Swindle jumps in, and yeah, he was a little too aggressive, and Resolution either was just covering his teammate, knew that something was going to happen, or he... Oh, Boba! Oh, we almost walked into that. He wouldn't have died, but still, would have done some nice damage.
But if they Fatal Bonds all of the tanky heroes on DC, and they do something like Warlock Golem on top of that and Ice Blast, they can easily win the fight. The damage becomes extremely accelerant there. So DC still has to spread out, they still have to take fights in a safe way, and they still need to keep farming on Spectre. They can do that, but they need to be scared of these fights.
They pop up the weave, the Glyph is good to go, Limp still doesn't have his chaotic offering, there's the Void up. They really want this tower, I don't blame them for it either. Resolution walk through mid, back down bottom, the Haunt will come in, they're going to try to find this kill into Haunt's, or at least just push them back. Instead, on the other side, they've rotated looking for Chesty. Chesty will be able to TP away just in time. Great Centaur Conqueror stomp, like you mentioned, and keeping him alive. This will lose their tier 2 tower. But Haunt is down now, which is a pretty big deal because they can wait up until they have chaotic offering again and just fight because Haunt will be down at that point.
But the map vision is so pressed towards their opponents, like they can't even comfortably leave their base. A can't go and ward, because if he ever gets spotted, there's so many heroes that can just rotate over and kill him. It's just really scary now for Complexity supports.
Oh, 1437 has a full Aghanim Scepter here within the last hit or two.
That's fast.
It's a support Night Stalker, 4 position.
And he doesn't even have that many kills. Like, 0, 3, and 8. He's just been farming like crazy. Lots of Iron Talon farming, really high regen on the hero, really high armor. The Tranquil Boots is affording him this. He can basically just constantly kill neutral camps if nothing's going on. And as soon as the fight starts, he can quickly run over and participate.
Boba will pick up a blink for himself as well, and so all these items are starting to come fast and furious. And again, it really comes down to, I think, that one team fight, chaotic offer and call down on top of it, AI Ice Blast, big stun from Swindle Melons. It's going to be tough. They're going to jump in. They're looking for resolution. Haunt not ready yet. There's the Slithering Crush. They're going to come in. Boba, he's got his ultimate. Ice Blast sails through, doesn't quite connect. They've got the chaotic offering. Will they have to drop it here? The mech will fly. All 3 in a bad spot. They pop the Veil. They get off the Phoenix Supernova. They've lost one, but the gold's coming through, and it looks like Boba will die, but Chesty will be the next to fall as 1437's on the back line. Still, everyone from DC is low. They're going to have to back away, it looks like. They're going to try to fight on the other side. Yuar's going to go ahead and use the Spectral Dagger. It is a 2-for-2 trade. Courier almost goes down. That's the Aghanim Scepter for 1437. He has to just let it back away, and 1437 is going to try to kite this as best as possible. They're going to come back in, but here's the Golems. That damage is ridiculous. Damage. One more right click, maybe the immolation will do the job. He gets the Ags. The Courier is about to fall. It will stay up and alive. It is a 3-for-2 trade, and Complexity win the fight, but just barely.
I can't believe that fight went so well, considering that the Ice Blast whiffed. He used it before the fight started, not anticipating the fight being there, and they still win the fight. And I think it came down to the fact that just the egg died. They were able to focus the egg. They the Warlock Golems down on top of DC's heroes to lower their attack speed. You can maybe criticize Viper as well. He ultied maybe a support. I guess he ultied one of the people hitting the egg, so he did reduce attack speed, but it was very clear that the Warlock ulti did a lot in that fight, and the egg did not provide them enough disable and team fight. So they get picked off slowly, and after that the Golems just zoned the Spectre, so Spectre couldn't do exactly what he wanted to do.
Yeah. And really what it comes down to at this point is, I think Boba needs to get his level 3, because that changes your attacks to destroy from 8 to 11. And if he had 11 attacks in that fight, he survives, no doubt about it. So,
yeah.
And for complexity, they just have to keep fighting with Golem, I think, and try to get Gyrocopter as farmed as possible. And he's getting kind of close to, I think, probably BKB at this point.
Yeah, they're definitely catching up heavily, but if the game goes super late, it gets scarier and scarier for complexity. I think they still have very good solo target potential, but their single target damage is not very good. Luckily, they have Fatal Bonds, so that makes up for the fact that all they have is AoE, because it means that you're going to end up doing a lot of damage to solo targets with it. But as Viper gets more and more farmed here, and as Spectre grabs his 3rd and 4th item, it's going to be really hard to win this game for them.
They've got Haunt, still no Chaotic Offering for 42 seconds. If DC want to fight, they want to do it, but not underneath that tier 2 tower. They're trying to bait them out, but Resolution will keep pushing in. They've got the Darkness, so they have great vision for 1437. He exactly sees pretty much everybody on Complexity's sideline, sitting back behind that tier 2 tower, and UR just pushes bottom while this is all happening.
Phoenix is ready to go. He's got a Blink Dagger as well.
Yeah.
That means that he can place his Supernova more precisely on high grounds, which is going to be really useful to do. They
Swindle.
might...
The Haunt coming through. Will they
Not a good fight.
this? UR's going to jump in. Going to back him away. That Haunt not doing the most damage in the world. They're going to actually just try to take the tier 2 off the back end of this. UR is actually going to hit up with the homing missile. And yeah, this fight is not great anymore. They might just have to back away, and it looks like that's going to be the case.
A rare mistake there from UR. He ended up haunting when he thought their opponents were going in. It looked very close, but the silence on the Slar stopped it.
Ooh, this stun coming out. Swindle now in some trouble. He actually might fall here. There's going to be a great Glimmer Cape. Chaotic Offering will fly. Now this fight's really bad coming out for Digital Chaos. They have to back away. Swindle going to work. 1437. They get the Grave up on Resolution, but he'll fall along with AUI and Bulba. Another great fight going the way of Complexity. Swindle might fall here to 1437. In fact, it looks like he will. He's got Void back up in 1 second. He'll go down, but still, that is going to be a 4-for-1 trade. And this is a huge, huge fight for Complexity.
Ooh. He gets off the Ignite. That's basically going to guarantee his death here. I just don't... Yeah. Really good fight there for Complexity. It comes down to Spectre ult being wasted. If they had that ready, it would have been good. Another thing that was the big factor, the Viper got graved. If you're Fatal Bonds to a grave target, you take that damage. It doesn't put you below 1 HP, but you basically just continue to do endless damage to your allies. So as long as this Fatal Bond is good from Limp, Complexity can win every single team fight, for sure.
Game's getting a bit more out of control for Digital Chaos, and really good team fights coming the way of Complexity. Of course, UR, he's getting more farmed and farmed as the game progresses, and he's not died yet. He's got that big and bouncy, by the way. So Complexity win a tough fight, and they get the kill UR. The amount of gold that's going to go their way is going to be outstanding. It's going to be a lot of gold going the way of Digital Chaos. So we'll see if they can avoid him dying, if Complexity can find a kill on him. We'll wait and see. And they're just getting more and more map control. You look at the net worth graph as well. It's back up to 4,000, where it was almost 10,000 in favor of Digital Chaos at one point. Just can't seem to find a fight that they can win.
Yeah, it comes down to the engagement, and that's the one thing DC's lacking is team fight initiation. They can't start the fight, locking their opponents down, and then haunt afterwards. They need to force their opponents into a position where they're a little bit out of position, and they can chase after them. So if they're fairly stationary, then it's hard for DC to initiate. They have to initiate with like a Viper Strike or Phoenix Dive, a slow from Night Stalker. None of those options are really that amazing. So somebody has to be out of position, or DC has to be able to run them down. And they didn't have that opportunity there, and they misused Haunt.
Chaotic Offering down. It looks like Complexity are not going to want to contest this Roche, and it's going to die very quickly. They'll send to the Ogre Frost Mage. It's not going to matter. It's just going to take some... Oh, they back up. They don't know where Complexity is. And they don't feel comfortable fighting this. Right now they do. We're gonna go back into the bid.
I love the Manta pickup on Spectre, by the way. It's a semi-tanky item. It's more of a carry item, but the purpose of it is that whenever he gets amp damage from Slardar, he can remove that by using Manta. That'll be very useful, and it's one of the better solutions against the big minus armor rather than buying an armor item.
Okay, just going for Resolution. Maybe Yash up. Alright, so do you fight here with the Aegis, or because Chaotic Offering is back up in 6, do you just... I mean, because you have to fight into that at some point, right?
Yeah, you definitely do. This is an okay time for them to fight due to them having Aegis, and that's what they're going to look for.
They're gonna have the supernova. It's still just level 2, but here comes resolution up to the high ground. Z-Freak's gonna get zoned out. Bomb will come through. They pop the BKB. The Chaotic Offer will come in. They don't get the silence off the ground. Resolution is getting destroyed. They pop up the ground. Can they take this fight? UR will find another kill. The supernova, and finally goes away DC after a couple of tries. They will get the supernova down by Swindle getting that kill, but the Aegis comes back up. He's still taking a lot of damage from those frickin' columns coming out. UR's actually gonna have to try to just get to the low ground here, but it's not gonna happen. Looks like he's finally gonna go down, and Chessie will get that kill. They lose the entire team fight, but they still get a beyond godlike spree for Chessie, putting him to 1,800 gold. So there are a couple of casualties for Digital Chaos. However, they still win a 5 versus 2 engagement.
That was a really good play there by Complexity. Limp ran super left on the Warlock, and it prevented the silence coming out from the Night Stalker. If he was able to silence the Warlock at the start of the fight, they easily could have won that. I think Boba also really messed up using his supernova there. He was just way too hopeful about it going well. He just has to place those in a weird position at this stage. It's just unfortunate. Like, he was at full HP, you know? He could have maybe casted more spells, done more before ulting, right. But he used it in such an early point. He was completely surrounded by 2 enemies. They didn't even seem like their attack speed was lowered. And it's hard. Like, there's Bloodlust on Ogre. If there's Bloodlust on a hero or two heroes can easily kill the Supernova right now. So Boba, despite having a great early game, has now been having a lot of trouble landing the right Supernovas. And it's really hurting DC.
Well, he's going to have a little bit of help now with his level 3 ultimate coming out. He didn't have level 3 ultimate there still. I don't know if it's going to matter, man. I guess you're right.
He died like halfway through Supernova. It's 6-second duration. Like,
yeah,
it takes forever for that to go off. You have to put in a position that's going to protect your allies, I think, and somehow try to, like, maybe he should have, how about dove to the south of them and supernova in the river or something.
Yeah, that would have been
That way
a
at
really
least
spot.
you force them north rather than... It's very difficult. Or you could just supernova on the other side of the river, and then the 2 melee heroes can't actually auto-attack the supernova. But that's another solution, but it's very hard to place supernovas correctly to know exactly where the right area is. Maybe he should supernova near Viper, that way Viper can at least lower attack speed. There's a lot of different solutions, but it's so hard to do it correctly in a very engaged team fight.
Yeah, and it's going to get harder now as they have the double chaotic offering, rather, as they have a refresher orb now up for Limp, and this is standard fare for a Warlock, but it's always exciting to get to this point because you could essentially win team fights on your own with 4 golems. Easily. And with the change, like, you used to be able to deal with them effectively because of Diffusal Blade, but now that that doesn't exist, it's kind of difficult to just fight into these. And they're going to get a BKB for Swindle as well. They're going to smoke up. They know this is their time, but it looks like DC either want to smoke up themselves or they seem to know this is happening. One of the two. Wait and see.
Well, what are they buying here? Diffusal Blade on Spectre. Okay.
I mean, that's a fine item.
Yeah, it'll increase the damage of his illusions. He'll get some needed slow. He can remove things like amplify damage on him and his allies. And Bloodlust, good point, Jay.
Yeah, very good point. So Complexity are going to do the good old wraparound and not find a single hero because somehow DC know this was happening, even though they smoked here. And there's like no ward whatsoever. They'll see them now walking through the jungle. Yeah, I think... just that they're off the map at this point and nobody's farming the lane, so good play from DC coming out. What else is happening? I don't know, man. It's tough because if you're DC, you definitely don't want to fight into double Warlock ulti, but
yeah,
at some point you might have to.
The double ulti is like the biggest carry potential in the game. At this stage in the game, somewhere on the 30 to 45 minute mark, it just feels like you can't beat it. But somewhere around the 50 to 70 minute mark, that's when the golems start becoming a bit less useful. And Viper does have the solution here. At a Manta style, he's got a Dragon Lance. If he can sit at the back of the fight and he can kite all of these golems, it can make a big difference. In a lot of cases, he's going to need his right click to deal with heroes during that time period. So I think DC has to either try to force a bad team fight for their opponents and then back up, or they need to initiate and kill Warlock before he ults. That's the easiest way for them to win
They've been trying to do that too. Like, if they can get that silence off on a Limp, then it doesn't matter what happens, because that's a 5-second duration. You can kill all the coL heroes within an amount of time. So it's a possibility. And here's another thing too, is they're going to be getting the Assault Cuirass coming out for the Viper, which is actually a huge item in this game, when you think about it.
Yep. Gonna make Viper a lot more survivable. It does stop a lot of the golem attack, but golems also cleave. That's where they do most of their damage. They have a percentage chance to do cleave and bonus damage. So when you've got 4 of those hitting you, you die a lot faster than you're anticipating if there's a lot of other heroes in the area. Ooh, we're gonna get missiled.
They're pushing the tier 2 tower, 5 manning from Complexity. Meanwhile, bottom is getting split push. There's only one creep wave that's not that big of a creep wave. It'll do some tier 3 damage, but minimally so. And they'll take the tier 2 tower mid while this is all happening. probably just back together. They pop the smoke for DC. They want to try to make a fight happen here. They're going to have 40-30 right out. Looks like Complexity either know this is happening, they're grouping up, or they're just going to back together. We'll wait and see. This is a huge
half
backstab.
wrapping around.
This is a huge backstab.
It's going to get broken.
They're going to have to fight this now, but in a really weird spot.
All they need is the silence on lamp. They go in. They get it.
Can they get the silence off? They can. Now the fight's going over. They've got BKBs. Can they get a kill? Limp's about to fall. Can he get it off in time? No, he cannot. And Hanski will have to back away as well. Now Swindlemel is low in HP. Chessie's BKB is down as well, and you are going to work. He'll find himself a double, almost a triple kill. A terrible fight so far for Complexity. They have to get out. It looks like Swindle as well as Z-Freak will get out in time. But that is a disastrous fight. And as you mentioned, all they had to do was get that silence off on the Warlock, and they get it done.
Really nicely done. That's how the fight had to go. They're doing a great job protecting him, but you just can't stop the Night Stalker from running at you from an unknown direction. And I think Resolution played that very well also. The Slardar, who's the counter initiator, he initiated on that guy, and he popped BKB, and he just kept him slowed, and you forced out a really bad stun from Swindlebones, because that's all Swindle could do. He's taking too much damage. So really good fight for DC. They get the pick off, and they don't have to worry about the Warlock golems for 26 seconds.
And they've weaved up as well, so even if they buy back on the Gyrocopter, yeah, they've got the buyback now. Warlock just has buyback as well, as JJ pointed out. They're going to have to back away here. They have to be very careful with how they approach these next couple of moments, because again, those Warlock golems are still up and ready to go. They will back away together as they force out the Gyrocopter buyback, which they're very happy with.
Yeah, and Spectre's 3,600 gold now. Now, there is an MKB pretty much already up for Gyrocopter. He could go Scotty on Spectre. He could go Butterfly. He's got a couple options that he can go for. I'm not quite sure which one's best. I honestly still think Scotty is probably the best solution, but I call Scotty way more often than people buy it, so I'm not so sure it'll be Scotty.
Yeah, well,
I love the synergy too much, man. It's so good.
This game, you might actually be right, I think. We'll wait and see.
I still think Butterfly is probably the solution, honestly, because that means he'll be missing golem attacks as well. I think he's got to go Butterfly.
Okay.
But yeah, the Gyro's still going to hit him, but Slaughter's going to miss. Slaughter does bashes, which means less bashes. Means the golems are going to miss you. That means a lot of things are going to miss you.
He's going to sell, though, is the question. Is he sell the urn or the drum? Which is more important? There's no urn charge, or no drum charges.
Easily sell the urn, I think. The drum's still 5% movement speed. It gives you way more stats. It gives you damage. Obviously, urn is very good. I mean, in some ways, urn is good because you can back out, heal, and go back in. But if he gets fatal bonds, that's not very useful anyways. So, and there's also A ulti, so I think it's pretty safe. Sell the urn, pick up your next survivability hybrid damage item, and go to the next fight happily.
Shiva's Guard is a huge pickup for Bulba this game. The attack speed slow, just the slow in general. It's a very good, obviously a very good item for Phoenix in general, but still, in this particular game, it's very nice. But here's the Axe Broker too.
And it's not just that, it's that you can activate Shivas, then use Dive, and basically hit everybody on the enemy team with the Shiva's Guard. And if you do that, it slows them down, obviously, does a little bit of damage, and it allows the Night Stalker to close the distance and get the silence he needs off. It all comes down to that silence. Warlock doesn't have a solution to this yet. He doesn't have a Yules, he doesn't have a Diffusal Blade, doesn't have a BKB. That's gonna, I dare say, have to be his next item. It sucks for him, though, because it's a really weak ability. One silence, and it completely counters his hero because they can burst him down during that silence.
Right. The Limp is struggling at this point. I mean, he had so many great team fights, but with one silence, you see how it turns around. And how much gold do they actually get out of that team fight? Looks like just about 4,000 to 5,000 net worth, which is pretty ridiculous. Roche is up, by the way, and 1437 is going to scout it out. There is this observer ward, which will scout Bulba heading over towards the Roche pit, but Complexity have already used their smoke to try to find somebody in that top lane. They'll get in the pretty aggressive observer ward down here, but nobody's up there. And Roche is going to die very quickly to UR. His right click, and he's going to be going for Scotty, my friend. He has picked up the Orb of Venom.
Yeah, the Scotty, he just needs overall survivability. It'll give him some kite potential. He can 1v1 Gyro a lot better to reduce his ability to run away. Like any hero that he goes on, just instantly screwed then. He does sell the drum, by the way. He keeps the urn. So you're right on that one.
Drop both of them because I think he wants to get one of these. Yeah, he's going to drop the urn. So either way, he'll have Cheese as well as Scotty, and Resolution will be one to pick up the Aegis. And he's very close to that Assault Curiosity. It's about 500 gold to have that.
I'm also confused why they don't pick up the Town Porter Skull and the Quelling Blade. That's free gold, man. Like, it's like the courier's there, dude. It's gonna take a quarter of a second more. You're gonna get 100 gold on 2 heroes. Like, why not pick them up? That's weird. But Scotty's a great item here. It's gonna make his illusions amazing. His illusions are very, very strong here. Initiate on Swindle?
Swindle is gonna have to try to beat him. He's taking so much damage. UR destroys him. BKB is now down, and he also died as well, which is just, dear lord.
It's so fast. I mean, he's only got 12 armor here. I think that's why.
Yeah.
Just hit way harder than that. And they had a Vlad's. The Vlad synergizes amazingly with
Limp?
agility items.
Is Limp gonna go down here? Shiva's Guard's going to fly in. He might have to use his golems here. He hasn't bought back. Does he have enough money? Absolutely. Actually gets Glimmer Cape. They can't chase him down. They had like a Night Stalker or somebody there. They would have gotten that kill, but that's not the case. All right.
All right, interesting little poke. I think that was good by them. Bobo played it safe. He blinked when he anticipated a potential ulti. And they get the tier 2 tower out of that kill, so DC's back in a good position.
Yeah. The MKB is done for Chessie. No, they have Slaughter back up at 25. He does have buyback, mind you, but at this point, if they take one bad team fight, it could start going in complexity's favor. But with the Assault Cuirass, with the other items that have been picked up, it's going to be very difficult. Even with double Golem, it is not going to be easy.
He's got to make BKB. I think that's the only good solution. He can't rely on doing something like a Yules. He needs to instantly be able to cast the rock when needed. And he can't even deal with these illusions very well. The illusions are very tanky now.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah, they're. This is hard now because.
And he's got another 3,500 gold in the bank, almost up to his next item.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. What do you buy now? Do you still go for Butterfly? What do you get?
Butterfly, I think something like BKB wouldn't be terrible this game, honestly.
Okay.
At this stage, he's already far ahead in terms of carry potential. He can beat any hero 1v1. If he gets a BKB, he can easily solo the Gyro, unless Gyro is a Butterfly. So something like BKB would be okay. He could buy Daedalus to make his illusions crit. He could go crazy and go like a heart and just have like 4,000 HP. Well, it'd be more like 3,500, but those are all options that he could go for. I think Daedalus or MKB might be a smart pickup. He could go Abyssal. Abyssal would be really good too. Yeah. Jump on a target and instantly stun them. Abyssal's another really good way to transition.
If the Warlock gets BKB, you just give the Abyssal through the BKB, and you could kill him with right click alone because you saw what happened against Swindlemelon. So there's an option that happens, but.
And he doesn't even do a large portion of his damage with Desolate anymore. His actual right clicks are very, very strong right now.
Yeah. 184 plus 89.
It's not bad. Plus, he's getting the Diffusal Blade mana burn. So,
are they going 25. To find Limp? He could silence up. He has the BKB now. If they wanted to force that out, they could have maybe forced out a BKB and maybe a chaotic offering because there's nobody there. They didn't TP back yet. All right.
Well, Complexity doing the best they can to split push here. This is pretty much all they can do at the moment because their team fight is arguably worse now. I would say this is getting to the area where the Warlock roams aren't as strong. Yeah, we haven't really seen a team fight where they come down in a while. They've got to worry about it now. They're going to need Chessie to grab something like a Rapier soon for their damage to be equivalent.
Yeah, and he just picked up the MKB, but he's actually up to 2,600 already, so he's done a good job farming. Yeah, if they get that Rapier, there's a chance they can come back into this game. I don't care how much tankiness you have from Spectre, even with the amount of armor and the Scotty health that you have, you can still get kills. They're looking to find a fight, though. The Veil's going to come into Chessie. He might actually have to pop his BKB, but here comes the rest of the squad. Ignite will fly from Hanskin up onto 4 to 37. He'll take that damage as well as slow. They've got really good vision.
Ogre has eggs, so he's got pretty good damage. Oh, unless he gets initiated.
Summer Cape's gonna come through. They have the gem. There's the Viper Strike. They might just have to let this go, but they haunt in. Now they pop the gold. The first one's gonna go. Do they get the second one off? He's waiting to use it here. He's gonna refresh. There's the second one. They've lost 2 already. You are trying to fight. He's got cheats. Gets stunned up.
Dead.
And he'll go down. Now the Supernova up as well. It looks like this is going to be Complexity's fight. They'll lose Bulba. Chessie's about to fall. Resolution's just going toe-to-toe with everybody, but finally Swindle comes in with Limp, and they'll get that kill. It's a 3-for-3 exchange. Double Golem now down.
That was so much damage, man. Did you see how fast Resolution died right at the start?
Yeah.
He just got golemed, and they ultied him, and he was just dead all of a sudden.
It happened the second time, too. He did get the kill on Chessie, though, but...
Yeah, but that was, like, long after the Aegis, you know? Like, the Spec just can't quite tank all that damage just yet. Maybe he does need a Butterfly.
I think he did use the cheese, and then he just died again to the Golems.
Yeah, he just took so much damage there.
I am down with the Abyssal Blade choice, like you were talking about.
And again, the Supernova didn't do enough there. He used it at the end, kept getting killed. He's been
kind
of
right
choking
in the middle
on
that time too. That was a bad. That wasn't a great placement for him. I don't want to say it was bad, but it was unfortunate placement for sure.
I mean, I almost feel like he needs to do it earlier. When the rumbling is going on, you got to use your Supernova, because if you use it at the end like that when you're trying to get advantage, it's just not going to work. You'd have to do it on the other side of trees or on a high ground or something. There's got to be a better time for him to use. But I didn't see where he was. I didn't see his engagement at the start of the fight. Maybe he was busy getting stunned or something. No.
The Sheep's Guard, he went in, and he was just able to slow the series down. Maybe they didn't know there was the BKB for the walk. I think they did, but it's just so hard to deal with him now. Obviously, the silence was so huge, but now it's just even They have to find something else. And he'll even pick up the Shiva's guard for himself down too after winning that team fight. Yeah, that's really good.
He has the BKB. He used it in the last fight. The Shiva's now is going to give him a massive survivability against Spectre going directly on top of him. So that was really needed to get an armor item. And it's also going to reduce the attack speed of all these spec illusions. So nice pickup.
Iwara is going to be heading towards that Abyssal Blade, inevitably. And that is pretty good item choice. They are going to find Z-Freak down bottom. This is more than likely they did AA. Yeah, he's dead. Haunt will come through. They're going to try to find this kill. And they actually are going to go for Swindle, too. Swindle's going to have to pop the BKB, and it looks like he gets bashed. He will not make it out in time, at least not yet. The BKB is about to go off, and that'll be a dead Slardar. He does have buyback, however, but still a very good initiation. However, Haunt is down, and Warlock Cult is back up to 30.
I think they'll just they might pressure, try to force a buyback maybe, and then play it safe. He's almost got Abyssal Blade now, so
gonna go high ground
off on the gyro.
This is gonna be this tier 3 getting assaulted. Chessie will take some right click.
They don't even have chaotic offering yet. Like they can definitely pressure this right now.
8 seconds. The people will go. They have to back up now. I think with Dragonlance they'll do some tower damage, but Resolutions is getting very slowed. He needs to be very careful.
Ogre is pretty slow too. Go to the bot tower, hit that a little bit, I guess, is their plan.
Golem's back up, though, and they have to be very careful with how they approach this next team fight. That's true. Autumn will fly, they'll hit up on EOR and the creep wave as well to take it down. Darkness is popped, they're going to head back towards Bid. 4-37 will hit one right click off, Resolution will hit a couple, the Glyph will not go, tier 3 tower will fall.
Fiddlebomb's only got 2.
Wood comes out, Hanskin. Are they going to go in on this? Hanskin is very, very close to dead. Sunray will fly, he just dies instantly. He does not have buyback, and that's probably a bigger kill than I think a lot of people would anticipate. Now this allows them to go to work on this range racks and put some permanent damage up on that building, and it looks like it's actually about to fall to Resolution. It is going to go down. Oh,
3 misses. Okay.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. This full set of racks actually is taking a lot of damage. They even get a Hex up now for the Night Stalker, which is a huge item choice.
Really good choice. That way he doesn't have to worry about silence now. Now he can just use a hard disable.
Yeah, if he can get in before that BKB is popped, which is, it could happen with another good backstab like we saw earlier. Okay. They get the range racks. They get a kill or 2. That's a pretty big advantage. They still have about a 15,000 net worth advantage. They're close to that Abyssal Blade, as you talked about. He actually has the money for it now. Will he buy it here? Yes, he will.
Okay, I'm a little surprised about that.
No buyback.
I feel like DC's clearly in the advantage here. Even if they lose the team fight, they're not going to lose the game. So why chance it on a buyback? But with the same vein, if they see somebody out of position, this Abyssal guarantees a kill on them if their allies are in the area. And Complexity has had a history this game of being a little out of position because they have had to push out lanes. So this gives DC really good offensive potential, but if they do find Spectre, the game kind of just ends. Fight goes well afterwards.
Yeah, DC are in a very precarious position. They'll have to keep him safe. They're going to have to bodyguard him and maybe just get Roshan again, which is up in about 2-ish minutes, roughly, maybe a minute and a half. And it's going to be a max duration Rosh respawn time. 1437 is going to be in the pit, just trying to see if he can. It's actually not max duration, is it? I think it's actually 1 minute less than max duration. I'm wrong. That clock is impossible.
It's not terrible. It's 1 minute less. It's not
thanks,
terrible.
Guys. Thanks, everybody.
No problem. They definitely don't want to fight right now. Anyways, it's daytime. They got to wait till nighttime to play aggressively, and you can see how much advantage it gave them in the high ground push. They knew where the heroes were. They knew if they could pressure a little bit here or there. Yeah, it got really nicely for them, and DC was able to get that ogre kill that allowed them to get a range barracks. So wait for nighttime, then you get to play aggressive again, and until then you farm and try to get a buyback.
This has been an impressive display of play from both teams. Really, this series has been a lot of fun. It's not ending just yet. Complexity are just hanging on by a thread here, and that one R button press, refresher R button press again coming up from Limp is going to be the most important thing in these team fights. And they'll even pick up an Assault Cross. Armor reduction is not there anymore. They have a bit of extra armor going their way as well. Darkness is going to get popped. They're keeping the Courier over at Roche, and this is finally a Roche that Complexity don't want to contest. They also smoke up. They're going to head right down mid. They're going to wrap all the way around here in the high ground. And this is going to be a huge fight. And looks like Complexity are in the position to have a winning advantage here if they can test this Roche. It's about to respawn.
They have to find where Spectre is. That's the hero they have to go on first. If they initiate on Spectre and they kill him, they win the fight. It's that simple.
Roche is going to respawn. Oh my god, what's up?
Courier
they have the Courier.
I don't think they saw the Courier. Okay, they see the Courier now. Will they go for the
jump
Courier?
in. They see it's happening. Oh no! Oh no! They didn't see the Courier. Did they see the Courier?
I think they saw it afterwards. Surely.
They're taking it down quickly. Can they get this down in time? It's low. Now
they might get it
through. Can they get this Roche? The golem's not there yet. Palma trying to get the supernova. They get up the Aegis. Do they get the cheese? They get the double golem off. Swindle now going to work onto Bubba. The Supernova taking a lot of damage, but not dead yet. It's about to go down, and it will.
Man.
They'll get the kill. Resolution, you are all backing away. You are in trouble. Spectral Dagger trying to get it to the high ground, and he will. Chessie, no ages. He's already used the Satanic. Viper Strike will fly. Chessie will go down. The Golem, can they outrun it? Here comes Swindle, though. There's going to be the crush coming in. They get off the grave, and Resolution will stay alive. AUI 2000 on the run as well. Resolution trying to bring down Swindle will not be lucky enough to do so. We get the triple kill out. You are still alive, keeping away is AUI with the Glimmer Cape. Beautifully done, and you are will be able to make it out as well. Cheese is still in the pit, mind you.
And a gem. Just normal Roche pit thing. That was a great play from to steal the Roche there. Worked out really nicely. Boba had a bit of a weak Supernova again. It almost worked. It was so close to getting the kill, but I think what really showed that fight was how overpowered Slaughter with Bloodlust is. He attacks so fast, he just perma-bashes you.
Yeah.
If you guys have ever played like custom games, man, it happens all the time. People just pick Slaughter by tons of attack speed items, and you just get perma-bashed. It's really rough. And a game where previously Swindle Mountains wasn't doing that much, now it's just the AC and the Treads and the BKB and that Bloodlust, he's just becoming a carry. It's amazing.
Yeah. And that's the scary part for DC in the late game. They continue to get crushed by these golems. They continue to get crushed by the now ever-present Slaughter. But that is double gold down. Everyone's about to respawn. UR is getting closer to having buyback here. He's actually just 76 gold away from it. Everyone else has buyback, but at least Viper does. They have Supernova up as well.
Is anyone ever going to grab the cheese? That's the next question.
That's actually such a good point. There's nobody has taken this cheese.
Yeah, I mean, Bulba did dive into the pit. He tried to grab the Aegis, wasn't able to do so. Maybe he should have gone for a high ground Supernova. I'm not
Someone's
entirely
gonna have to
sure.
realize it sooner. It's gonna be complexity. It's like, wait, we didn't use cheese that last fight, did we?
I don't know, man. That fight was too crazy.
They're heading over the Roach pit.
Surely they'll expect somebody would have grabbed it.
They're gonna smoke up. Oh, if they check the pit with the smoke.
Well, they're not going to check the pit with the smoke. They know Roche isn't there, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, that's just the cheese that is lying there. Oh, is that courier going to get it?
It's going.
They got the courier to get the cheese. Oh no, they were going for the
They're
gem.
like, oh, free cheese.
Oh my god.
Two TPs, cool. I'll take those. There's actually another TP. They could have really made out hard there.
So now they have a cheese. Do they still have that Aegis? The answer to the question is yes. Swindle has it. Oh, Limp gets hexed up. He's in trouble. Can they bring him down in time? The Abyssal will fly through, and Limp is going to go down. He's got buyback. 1437 is dead as well. The BKBs. Swindle is doing a lot of work in these team fights. They force him to buyback. Swindle. Supernova will go through. Swindle's attack.
It's a good one.
He's about to fall, and finally works out in their favor. Will he go down? Yes. That's just the Chessie cannot afford to die. He'll go down. He's got buyback. They bring in the cheese. There's the goal. It's only one set of. They're going to try to bring these down. They'll just get away. Swindle will go for Bulba. He's about to fall. He's got the Lotus Storm. He's going to Icarus dive away. It looks like he will make it out. So far, the only other dead hero is going to be 1437. AUI stuck himself. There's going to be Slithering Crush. He'll fall. He would have gotten knocked out because of the bash. They actually lose Resolution as well. That is not a terrible fight for complexity. They do have to use a lot of buybacks, but still.
Are they going to refresh this is the question. I feel like this is their attempt to go mid. That it's only going to be a Viper buyback. Overspine back there.
He refreshed it. He refreshed it, and here it is. This could be the fight for complexity. Take this game. They have no buyback on 1437 or the Dazzle. They do have one for Resolution, but a 3 versus 5 with one set of golems back up. This is going to be a tough defense. We'll see if they just let this go. The tier 3 will get glyphed up. 1437 back up at 16. It is still nighttime, by the way. He's got darts up in 5. They have no Supernova for 42 seconds. He'll Yules himself. Here we go. Chase is going to try to push forward. He's got the cheese. He's got his Satanic up and ready to go. They still have that second set of golems. Swindle will try to zone them out as effectively as possible. They really want to get this Rax. They'll even use the Diffusal to try to slow him down. Satanic will get popped. And they'll back away together. Dazzle's back up to 22. They have Haunt in how many seconds? 20 seconds. And they'll hold for now. It looks like complexity will back away for the time being.
And Spec is actually just not looking like a good carry at this stage. It's very crazy to see that, but Fatal Bonds, Slardar, and the Warlock Golems doing cleaving peer damage is so dangerous.
Oh. That cause 1437 is able to scout out the fact they are nearby. Spectral Deck will fly through. Do they want to commit to this? Darkness will go. The Haunt will come out as well. And now this might not be the best Haunt. They're going to look for
going on the back.
Ice blasted. He's going to almost get this kill. He's not dead yet. UR is low.
Oh, they'll run into it.
Out. Not a great fight for DC. Complexity will take down UR. He's already used Haunt. He's got buyback, but suddenly he's going to have to pop it up. Now Chessie going to work. That'll be into AUI 2000. Bulba doesn't have Icarus dive. He'll Yules himself. Resolution will get the kill on the Swindle Mountains. And now everyone will have to back away for Complexity. Chessie doesn't have buyback if they can find this kill. They'll use the Bloodlust to get him a little bit further away. The Glimmer Cape will come out as well. He doesn't have a TP scroll. They can't chase him down. He's just too fast at this point. Not a good fight for DC. They have to buy back onto UR. And now, next fight will more than likely win the game, Purge, if one breaks out.
God, that fight was so ugly for DC. They tried to initiate on the Warlock, and they did the initial stun, but there was no follow-up there ready to go. And everybody just ran into the call down. It looked like that game was over there for DC, but dieback on Spec, and they were able to get the kill on Swindle. That did enough. And the next fight's going to be everything. Who's it going to go for, though? Warlock doesn't have an ult for 60 seconds.
Yeah,
That's a big advantage for DC here.
They have to use this to their advantage. They still have to cheese up on Chessie, but is it going to be enough? They should know there's no golem up, but they're playing this passively. And if DC don't accomplish this, they don't go with this.
I don't like this.
This could be devastating.
I really think this should go here. The Warlock golems are a huge aspect of their damage on Complexity's lineup.
Double damage.
They're not going to go for it. They know it's daytime. They have no darkness for 8 seconds. They're missing Night Stalker, and they're not going to go for this team fight.
And they don't have pump for 30 either. Like, that's the other issue.
30
Can't
seconds.
just fight into this. Like, they need Haunt. It's a huge aspect. Otherwise, he can just be focused.
Well, he's back up in 20 seconds. It's not like they could just start marching down mid and go for it if they wanted to right now. That's not going to happen. Complexity are feeling a bit more brazen and bold as they're going to move out of the base. And they are in a pretty damn good spot right now. It's still a 10,000 net worth advantage for DC, but that means nothing when you lose team fights like what they just lost for DC.
Yeah, the fight was just, honestly, it was so ugly to me. They just ran into it, and they're like, let's try, guys. And they all popped BKB, and they just got shredded by the AoE damage.
Yeah, it was nuts. The call down, flat cannon coming out, and specifically the golems. Darkness has been used. Golems are back up, ready to go with the refresher, and another set in 38 seconds. They want to go for it, but we'll see.
Well, Spec could upgrade his Diffusal 2. He could work on a Moonshard for eating it. It's not an amazing advantage, but it could help. I just don't really... I guess he could get boots of travel as well. He's still on phase boots, but I don't think there's a whole lot of solutions for him in his item build here. Maybe Butterfly's still it.
Ooh, that's
Exo
actually a
Viper.
pretty good pickup.
Yeah, I think I like that. A lot of HP increase. He's already got a lot of survivability. He's got tons of armor, so getting an Ags on there means that he can just keep people out of position. His targets are going to be basically Slardar and Gyrocopter, I think. Keep those heroes far away from your allies. It's going to limit their DPS and give them a big advantage in fights.
They were heading right towards the base, but they were looking for a smoke kill, which they have not found, and DC again calls the bluff of Complexity, and they'll sit back in the base, looking for defense, and AY will split push down bottom as they dazzle, and be pretty successful at it, actually.
AY playstyle, man.
He's farming up pretty well now. 1,500 gold, Lotus Orb, Glimmer Cape, all things considered. It is 15 minutes in. Question when this game is going to end. Feels like the next fight will win the game, but buybacks are going to be back up here pretty soon for the rest of Complexity. 2 minutes for the Gyro and a minute 30 for the Limp Warlock.
Also, this tower down here could just die. It only has 61 HP, so they will get here in time to defend it, but the map is slightly in the advantage of DC because of that range barracks and that tower on the bottom being a bit weak.
Roche. Windles? Let's see.
Oh god, he got a Moonshard. Oh god, this is the nastiest shit to play against ever.
397 attack speed. Yeah, that's a perma bash. And he didn't eat the Moonshard, so it's even faster.
Yeah, Moonshard's amazing on Slardar. It really increases his damage potential. Every time he bashes, he gets 120 physical. It's like a 2x crit, pretty much.
Pretty nice. And with this, they're going to just walk straight down mid. They've got double gold now. I feel like DC probably waited too long, and they're going to have to defend pretty much into the mouth of hell. It's
kind of wish AOI was there. They really need weave setup.
AY, where is he? He's TPing back, I believe. He's back in the base. Viper Strike will go. Chessie, he's got Satanic, he's got Cheese. Slowed up pretty effectively. They've got another Viper Strike ready in a moment. Swindle's actually taking a ton of damage.
He's half at HP. This is bad for Swindle, actually.
They're going to jump in. They're going to use the Shiva's Guard. Chessie's slowed up again. He still has that Cheese. Viper Strike will fly all the way.
So well.
Get 1437. Go away in the backside. Looking to try to find a backstep here.
They're doing really good against Complexity. They're just keeping them low, basically. They got Shadow Word and maybe an Urn as well, but they just try to keep them low so that they don't feel comfortable fighting. If Swindle's at half HP, his BKB means a lot less.
Oh, they were trying to find it's daytime for only a couple more seconds here, and we'll go back to nighttime. They'll have that vision advantage again.
He's got to be careful on Resolution.
Resolution getting close. Viper Strike will fly again. Chessie's going to take some more damage. They'll weave him as well against the enemy team. Now there's really a lot of armor gone. These Manta Illusions are going to work against Chessie. Let's see how much damage they're doing. The Veil will come out. Are they going to keep pushing this? This is very dangerous. They might actually get this melee racks, but they'll have to do it at the cost of maybe a hero or two or a lot of damage. plus this tier 1 tower bottom's about to fall after this creep wave pushes in. Or tier 3 tower, excuse me.
It's engaged sword. They might go now.
Resolution going in, pops the BKB, they get off the
Limbs hex.
Ongulus, can they bring him down? 4 steps, beautifully done. They need the abyssal. Can they get it off in time? Z
Great
fall.
egg.
Flip will get off his ultimate and probably get the second set off as well. They've lost one. Bulba going to work with the supernova, gets the stun off. Flip will fall, but still they've got the 4 golems up. Chessie going to work now. Still has the cheese. Might pop the take that. Can't get it off. UR gets the ultra kill. And Complexity unraveling again on the other side. 1437 finds a solo kill into Hanskin. All 5 dead in the dirt. Double golem now gone. Digital Chaos finally maybe able to overcome this hump pure purge as Chessie is forced to buy back.
God, that was a perfect fight from DC. It was so good. The initiation, everybody's a little low. They scared them. They forced them into the egg. The egg was placed perfectly in that fight from Boba. And as soon as that egg goes off, man, it guarantees like a 2-second stun on all the golems, on all the enemy heroes, and he gets another round of all of his abilities. It's so strong. So DC finally gets a great fight. Resolution played that fight amazing. He was the focus of the fight, but he's able to get away. And it was all because of that egg allowing them to disengage and continue to kite their opponents. I love the egg's pickup. It was absolutely great this game because it helped them with what they were missing, which is disable.
Yeah, and that you saw it, that high ground defense. How many times they popped up that Viper Strike, pushing them back, and now there's just the one buyback for Swindle at this point. If they lose the Warlock again, if they lose the Gyrocopter again, that is going to be it. More importantly, the Gyrocopter, I think, at this point, because Warlock does not have his ulti for 87 seconds. So DC have plenty of time to play carefully, or they can just go high ground right now and finish off this first set of racks here down in the bottom lane. It looks like that's going to be the case. And without Warlock, without Ogre, without Swindle back up at 15, this will be at least 1 set of racks, and more than likely 2 when it's all said and done.
I think they'll get them for sure. There's the first set on the bottom. They're going to go to mid, finish off that melee barracks, and they might even take top. They can force a fight here. They can stay as 5. They don't have all their ults. They don't have Haunt. But there's going to be no Infernals golems. And they're playing it safe. DC does not want to lose this game.
Yeah. 2 sets of racks down. I don't know, man. I feel like if DC loses a team fight, they don't have buybacks, which they do, but if they didn't, they could just march straight down mid if Complexity were able to win that fight. Essentially win 2 fights at this point. So they're going to go back down bottom. They're going to keep the waves pushing and look for maybe a catch, some sort of initiation here. We'll wait and see if that's actually the case. Yes, he's kind of far out front. He might get hexed here.
They're going to go
Viper Strike. He's very fast. Looking for that hex. They don't want to use the BKB just yet. The hex will come through. That'll be up onto Swindle. Malice is going to get silenced as well. They've got Supernova. Volvo will go and round trip in with his first time. Pops with the Shiva's Guard as well. You are in some trouble, actually. He's taking a lot of damage. He's got the
big rape.
Hodskin is going to go down. They have to force the buyback. That'll be up onto Swindle's. Limp going to go to work, and Chessie will grab that kill. He can buy back and haunt in. It looks like that's going to be the case. They're going to pop the Supernova as well. Chessie has to eat the cheese. He still has Satanic. And meanwhile, Lift is getting destroyed by UR. They've taken 2 down. They're about to take a 3rd. Swindle is about to fall. The dieback will come through. He's dead. Chessie goes down. That is it. That is it. Digital Chaos will take the series 2-0 and make it to the group stages for Dota Cinema's Captain's Draft.
What a freaking game. That was so good. Bulba with the refresher at the end just completely guaranteed. You're like, all right, this game's over. You have no chance, man. And DC finally weaves it through, wins 2 team fights in a row, and they take the game 2-0. But what a match, man. That was a great game.
What an impressive display from both squads. UR got up to a hot start. They won about 3 team fights in a row. And then they just kind of carried it through to the late game. They were able to secure the victory. Resolution made some outstanding plays with the help of the rest of the team.
From behind. He was pressured so much in his lane, and